It's another wonderful evening. This is Splash 105.5 FM, right here at Felele, White House, in the city of Ibadan. Welcome to the program where we try to talk about the issues in Nigeria, things that affect us as a people, and we always try to find a way out of the imbroglio, whatever it might be. So today is not going to be different. We're back on this beat to talk about issues that ail our nation. Once again, welcome. All right, so the program today will be looking at the House of Representatives recently informed Nigerians that the National Assembly was broke, and the House lamented that this will affect the function of the nation's legislative arm. We know the budget of the National Assembly, and I know the way they always talk about their budget, 125 billion, and the legislative staff and the rest. One wave that is moving through the nation recently is the protest by workers, staff of states' houses of assembly. They've been moving around, showing dissatisfaction about how they've been treated. But we're zeroing in on the National Assembly. Do we truly, indeed, need a bicameral legislature? What is the import of these for the nation? Is this the time to begin the argument to jettison the bicameral legislature in Nigeria? And I have a question that I want everybody to be able to answer and try. If you had to make a choice between these two, chambers, the green and the red chambers, which one would you go for? Which one do you think we should jettison and why? That's one question that I want, even for you that will call us. If we were to talk about, relieving one of these houses, which one do you think we should leave out? I know what I had with Micheal, and I know what I discussed in the program department when we were talking. Some people were saying House of Reps, we should leave House of Reps and let Senate go. Some will say Senate is more representative than House of Reps. There's balance. I want to hear you. I'd like us to discuss this. That's one issue. The other issue is the agitation for a Yoruba nation is becoming rife. Can these agitators achieve their aim? How effective is their strategy? Is secession the same thing as restructuring? Obviously not. But would restructuring solve the problem rather than secession? This afternoon I read from the newspapers, the South senators coming together to say that they prefer to have a one Nigeria rather than a balkanized nation. Akinola says all those who are agitating for a new nation should not come to Ondo State. Was he speaking for Ondo people or for himself? Okay. And there is this attitude to those who are agitating that I want us to look at. There is this character, Koiki, on Twitter. I'd like us to listen to him and discuss the issues. Once again, welcome. The gentlemen are already here. My name is Oluwaseun. Micheal is here. Hi, Micheal.
Good afternoon. It's good to be here again to discuss, questions around our nation. Good afternoon to the gentlemen in the house.
Tunde is here. Hi, Tunde.
Sure. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm always happy to have you.
Good evening.
Good evening. Dayo.
Always a pleasure. I mean, this is a program I always look forward to. So, yeah.
So let's start. Okay, so I'm kicking off with Dayo. Dayo, these issues are very important. The National Assembly. I'm not starting with that question I asked. That is coming later.
I will answer.
I will. But
I have my answer already.
All right, good. But look at the National Assembly. National Assembly recently, it was from the House of Reps that said they were broke and they don't have enough money. I read from Guardian newspaper, one of the stories said that they will stop sitting 3 times in a week and reduce to 1 time a week. And these are people that we see on television, some of them sleeping.
And some of them don't show up at all.
And the empty seats. So what do you say to the National Assembly saying they were broke or they are broke?
With a budget of 128 billion naira to be shared amongst both in the red and the green chamber and their different parastatals, I think that's some good money. Benjamin Kalu, who made this statement, said he has said it before, he will say it again, and he will continue to reiterate that they are broke. For whatever reasons best known to him, I made us to understand that they have about 6,000 members of staff. I wonder what. But he now tried to explain it that they have legislative aides, you know, some with a plethora of aides. You'll be wondering, what do they really do? And they tried to further explain that in some countries, he didn't say Nigeria, he said in some countries, you see professors and the likes consulting and Now, one thing is clear, if you ask me, and that's why I said I will answer that question, because it has to do with this particular issue. I'll go for the, Green Chamber, the Federal House of Rep. Yes, we should stick with them. And Nigeria will not be the first country. Yeah, Nigeria will not be the first country to go unicameral. We won't be the first, actually. And I don't think we'll even be the last.
But we have the House of Lords and House of Commons.
We can no longer fund this type of governance.
Is it because of the funding alone?
See, that is even the beginning. It's just the beginning. Now, when Benjamin Kalu said they are broke, I would have expected him to tell us that they are owing him salary. As far as I'm concerned, the Senate is a retirement house for former governors. It's gradually becoming one. You are a governor. In fact, there are some people in this current night Senate. There were senators, went to become governor, and came back. Did I mention names? Don't go too far. Now. In Ogun State. Yes, he was formerly a senator.
Yes.
Went to become governor for 8 years. Went back to the same Senate. Come on.
It would have the same thing for the late
Ajimabi.
Exactly.
People of Oyo State or Oyo South are allowed.
So really, I'm not saying but these people have tried. I think it's high time, if we had our options, can we focus on the Federal House of Rep? And moreover, these guys are even more. So they have more contact. We have more people from 2 or 3 local governments. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, okay, I would stick with the Federal House of Reps.
The question that I reasoned from that was that the House of Reps creates a sort of imbalance in representation because of, if you look at Lagos State compared to Kano State, you compare to Jigawa State, compared to Bayelsa State, come to Oyo State. So that imbalance too is something that people will say that we need to look at. But let me come to Tunde. Maybe we'll start with that question for Tunde too.
Well, I'm a bit
you're torn
between those things because naturally I would have gone for the House of Reps.
Yeah,
because this is a place where you have typically younger people. True. Some of them vibe like Bayelsa. With maybe
8 local governments.
8 local governments, less than 4 million.
Dixie will come for your neck.
I mean, it's not about.
You know what Dixie did?
I should educate you in his own words.
The debate is always going to rage on, but I think one thing that is clear for me, even if we're not going to advocate for a unicameral parliamentary system, is the kind of bogus allowances they get, because I think that is the bone of contention. I'm sure if these guys had been on something like what a civil servant gets, probably not going to have this kind of situation. It is clear. Dio earlier talked about 128. That was for 2020. In 2021, their budget is actually 134 billion.
Yeah.
So they've added 6 billion. In 2019, it was 125 billion. And to put these things in proper perspective, it tells you about how the ruling class, how they see themselves. Exactly. If you recall, between 2015 and 2019, the president was always complaining about how much the National Assembly appropriates for herself in terms of running costs. Maybe because the Bukola Saraki-led Senate and Dogara led House of Reps was not totally in bed with the executive arm of government. But since 2019, we've not been. In fact, last year it was the Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, who came out to defend, why the National Assembly's budget must be that high. According to him, he said there's a whole lot of work that they do, that are not covered, by the full glare of the camera. So we tend to underestimate the job of this National Assembly members. I don't know how tedious, their work is, because if you look at the states in Nigeria, aside from Lagos and Rivers, there is no other state that is generating 134 billion in a year in terms of IGR.
Mm-hmm. None.
And here we have a National Assembly of just 360 in the House of Reps, 109 in the Senate. Essentially getting more. Forget about the National Assembly Commission and the civil servant. More than 60% of this entire budget, stays with the elected senators and House of Reps members. It is just insane. And the sad part is that they have never ever come out to tell us how exactly. Even Saraki, former Senate President,
2017,
who tried, he did not give a line by line, item and costs of what the budget looks like.
And those who have been agitating for that budget, they've gone quiet already because they're tired. Yes, because they talked about. I know what budget did. I know open ass. I know
the National Assembly operates like a court. Even some of those that you say, I remember when this former senator from Osun State, this professor,
Prof. Adeyeye.
It was from him that I first got the word legislators.
Yeah, he said it on the floor.
But then again, when he was in the Senate, it was actually on this station. I think it was an interview with Edmond, when Edmond kept asking him, how much do you earn? He said, Edmond, I will show you my pay slip. My salary is less than 700,000 naira. He asked him 3 times,
and then you leave
how
this lad.
much do you earn?